In a world where Enzo Fernandez, current Chelsea captain, being the vice captain, and of course Reece James being absent, not shutting down exit rumours from Chelsea being linked to Real Madrid, we'll see what happens in the World Cup. Chelsea fans have reacted really positively to the quotes from Moises Caicedo, his midfield partner who also costs over £100 million, also being linked to Real Madrid, who are seemingly trying to rebuild their midfield. He did quite the opposite, which is some really nice, good, feel-good vibes in perhaps a time in the Chelsea sort of atmosphere when there's not that many feel-good vibes. So welcome back to Football Therapy. We're going to speak a little bit about Moises Caicedo's quote and also jump over to the Telegraph and reflect on an article Matt Law published yesterday about, I'm afraid we have to talk about it, Liam Rosenior's job safety. He also went on my friend's the London is Blue podcast today or yesterday and spoke about how he feels the players don't believe in his tactics, and I kind of see that myself, and I want to reflect on that a little bit also. The players apparently like Liam and he gives them freedom, but are they losing faith and belief in what's being executed on the pitch? And can we heal over this international break? You know, all these players go off, they go away with their respective national teams, start talking like Enzo and like Moises Caicedo here as well. We're going to get into all of it a little bit today, perhaps speak a little bit on Levi Colwill return date. He could apparently return to action on the 10th of April. We'll do a little bit of that as well from Chelsea.news. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for joining me. Football Therapy, of course, like I said, is an international break. It's a tricky time. It's frustrating. But we will get through it together, and football will return. Unfortunately, we are playing Man City, knowing how our luck is going at the moment. We'll probably beat Man City, get the vibes up, hand the title to Arsenal, then lose all the rest of the games in the season, and miss out on Champions League football. I'm only being nihilistic. I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's get into today's content. Alrighty, Charlie Patrick on Chelsea.news writes the following: Chelsea plan to give Levi Colwill a run out with the under-21s before making his first team return, and he could feature against Fulham on the 10th of April. Colwill hasn't featured, of course, this season because he's suffering, he suffered an ACL injury that he's been recovering from, and Chelsea are being very, very careful. Colwill is said to be progressing well with his recovery, and there's positive signs that he's been seen, of course, in first team training, which, of course, is a great sign. Smiling, laughing, being out on the grass with the boys. It's a good little pick-me-up, although perhaps not a good enough pick-me-up, but that our form's been good. I blame the huddle, man. We've been bad since Huddlegate. That's what I feel. I feel Huddlegate has screwed us. Yeah, we'll speak a bit more than that. But, Chelsea are reportedly still hoping to play this season, of course. 7 games to go. Not that many. Rosenior keeps speaking about it, but I think even just playing with the under-21s would probably be good for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, just because they're still competitive, there's still good players there. Axel Disasi was playing with the under-21s before he went over to West Ham and gone on loan there, and they love him over there. If West Ham stay up, which they might do, yeah, they'll probably try and convince Axel, like, can we sign you, please? And they'll offer Chelsea what would probably be an acceptable amount of money, but he might be like, I want to go and play for a Champions League team in France or Italy or something. And maybe he can get that move, you know. Best of luck to him, whatever he can do. Let's move on then. So, yes, some of you may have seen, I think it was on El Chiringuito. So I'm reading this off the Standard. Legend! Chelsea fans have praised Moises Caicedo after Real Madrid transfer admission. Of course, this comes in the wake of the time where Enzo has been saying all sorts of stuff with Argentine television. Let's read this, though, by Tashan Denerian Alien. Hyphenated surname, not the easiest for me to say. I keep reading articles with difficult names in and making myself look silly. So Chelsea fans have had the same thing after Moises said the same thing, after Moises Caicedo pledged his allegiance, his future to the club, after reports linking him to Real Madrid. Now, Real Madrid would take Caicedo, by the way, because they need a Casemiro replacement. They've never really rebuilt that. You know, they would probably take both Chelsea's £100 million midfielders if they could get him out of Chelsea and afford it. Like, because they need that rebuild. So let's read on. Caicedo was a standout performer for Chelsea this season. It has been, rather, playing a pivotal role in their impressive form. Hold on. During the earlier part of the season. There we go. Which had the Blues, oh God, this seems like a long time ago, in Premier League title conversations. We had that the season before under Maresca. Goes away very quickly though, doesn't it, gang? The midfielder continues to be a regular in the side under new head coach Liam Rosenior, who replaced, of course, Maresca at the beginning of the year, but speculation of his future rambles on. I don't know, man. I think both him and Enzo want new contracts, and hence, you know, the noise. But Enzo went one way, and Moises made it more difficult for his agent with what he said. Maybe not, actually. Everyone loves the allegiances to be pledged. Real Madrid have been tipped to make a move for the Ecuador international, though Caicedo has moved to distance himself from such rumours. So you may have seen the clip in Espanol. Speaking to El Chiringuito, Caicedo said the following. I'm not going to say it in Spanish. Although I am doing Duolingo in Spanish, and it's hard. He said this, following quote. I'm focused on my club right now. I have a contract with my club, Chelsea, and I want to do well. I want to be a legend at Chelsea. God willing, and well, that's all for now. The response has been generated from a big reaction from Chelsea supporters on social media, which are insisting Caicedo has already unlocked legendary status. I want to become a Chelsea legend. And Fabrizio Romano, tweet, here we go. Moises Caicedo, when asked about Real Madrid looking for a midfielder, I want to become a Chelsea legend. So you ask Enzo Fernandez, he's like, well, we'll see. Yeah, I miss Enzo Maresca, because he loved Maresca, didn't he? He's like, we'll see what happens with Chelsea after the World Cup and the FA Cup, and, we'll see. And Caicedo is like, I love Chelsea, I want to be a Chelsea legend. Which is nice. In a moment where we don't have that many nice things. So thank you for the nice thing there. Yeah, Caicedo, I think he's like slightly younger than Enzo, maybe like a year younger or something like that. They all want new contracts, basically. And I think maybe there was, especially with Caicedo, there was noises from the club, like an inference that he was going to get a new contract. So, because an agent might be like, tell them you're interested about Real Madrid, or like, don't wave away and bat away the Real Madrid link. So you'll make Chelsea nervous and twitchy, and they'll just give you a new contract, Or that might make Chelsea go, well, clearly you're not committed, so why should we commit to you? Whereas perhaps a Moises Caicedo saying, I want to be a Chelsea legend, and don't go to Real Madrid. And of course, it's a bit unlike Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo was pictured in a Chelsea shirt when he was younger. Do you know what I mean? So there is that sort of, it doesn't necessarily mean much, does it? Especially these days. But maybe he's more committed to the cause. In fact, there are some Chelsea fans already calling for, because Reece James might miss the end of the season, probably, might come in for the last couple of games, it's going to be Enzo Fernandez. A lot of people think he shouldn't be wearing the captain's armband because of his comments. Because he's, it should go to someone like a Cucurella or, especially because Trev's not available as well for a few weeks. It should go to a Cucurella or a Caicedo. Because you can't really give it to, it'd be weird to give it to Cole. It'd be loads of, random pressure to be like, hey, Cole, you're a good attacker, just wear the captain's armband. It needs to be, someone combative and really assertive on the pitch, I think, that kind of player. Not perhaps a mercurial talent, like a Cucurella or someone like a Caicedo. I'm not necessarily saying that, we should necessarily strip Enzo Fernandez of the vice captaincy and give the armband to someone else. There are people saying it, and I can kind of see where they're coming from at the moment. But, Enzo might come back. He's very emotional. He's just peed off. He wants to win. Chelsea aren't winning. Regardless, Chelsea have failed him in many ways. He's been getting criticism as well from all facets of the media saying, well, he's not really been this great player they thought they were going to get. I think there's a bit of that, and I think there's a bit of Chelsea have misused him, changed him around. We've also not really necessarily built around him. And I don't want to say built around him like he's some holy amazing player, because he's not. Chelsea, I think, long-term, probably failed Eden Hazard to a degree. Even though he was good, Fabregas, Kante, Costa around him. There was this idea that Chelsea could have been this insanely good team, more than, Hazard won a couple of Premier Leagues, but perhaps we could have built a team where Hazard won 3 or 4 Premier Leagues and the Champions League, and perhaps Chelsea failed him in terms of not really building something insane around him. I don't think Fernandez is worthy of that. Fernandez just needs to try hard and get through it with us this difficult time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to hear people's thoughts on that. Let's move on. Alright, so we are going to speak about Rosenior now. Here we go. This is Matt Law of the Telegraph. Here we go. As you can see on those of you watching the video, Liam Rosenior safe even if Chelsea miss out on Champions League football. That's me projectile vomiting everywhere. By the way, thank you to those who've been supporting the content, for liking and subscribing. I just wanted to give a shout out. If any of you are watching or listening on iPhones, because this is on podcast platforms, Football Therapy Podcast, and lots of you have been amazing. I've got over 1,200 5-star reviews on Spotify, and that is an average of 5 out of 5 stars. So you guys have been amazing. I've got 4.9 on Apple Podcasts out. I think I've got 59 reviews. So if you do want to help me out, if you could go on Apple Podcasts and follow in 5-star, that would be nice, searching Football Therapy Podcast. But yeah, thanks to everyone who likes and subscribes on YouTube as well. Just want to show a bit of love and appreciation. And a small call to action, I suppose. So Matt Law writes the following, and of course, I did want to, this is from yesterday's article, but I listened to him on the Londoners Blue pod today, speaking essentially about how he feels like the players don't believe in his tactics anymore. And certainly in the last 4 games, those 4 losses, or at least the first one until Jorgensen made that mistake, it meant that we looked okay in that game, even though it looked a bit wobbly. It's ever since that the players do look like they perhaps don't believe in what's going on. That's what's really concerned me. Hence me making recent content expressing concerns about Rosenior. But Matt Law writes the following. So he writes, Liam Rosenior's position at Chelsea head coach is currently viewed as secure, even if the club miss out on Champions League. Telegraph Sport understands Chelsea do not plan to review Rosenior's performance formally before the summer of 2027 and have no intention of making a change at the end of the season. I don't like these end of season reviews. I mean, it's just such a data-led approach, isn't it? And even if it makes sense, we need at least an 18-month body of evidence before we can analyse what he's done as Chelsea coach. Like anything in life. We need this much data before we're qualified to make a decision on it. But sometimes you just know. And look, I'm praying, because he's not going to get canned over the international break, we know that. I'm praying we come back, everyone's had a bit of a break, they believe in him again, Joao Pedro turns Super Saiyan again like he had on the Rosenior, and we win the FA Cup and finish 4th. Do you know what I mean? Like, great. But if the stink continues, you need to act as far as I am concerned. So let's continue. The only scenario in which his stance could change would be if Chelsea were to implode, there we go, in the final few weeks of the season. But there's no expectation of that happening. Why, bro? We've already had an implosion in the last 4 games. Like, you're very, I don't know, whoever's, Matt Law's writing this, but he don't know who he's talking on behalf of. Whoever's assuming this implosion won't happen. Like, I'm not a negative guy. But what I've seen, this recent body of evidence, I have got no reason to necessarily be like, we're not imploding. While the aim for Chelsea is to qualify for the Champions League, Rosenior's future does not depend on it, and he would not be held solely responsible for missing out, having only taken over in January. Fine. I mean, I guess it's sensible on papier, on paper, but you still got to be like, eye test stuff, right? Maybe I'm being unfair, I don't know. Chelsea view this summer as being critical in terms of recruitment, I agree, with the club desperate to improve the mental resilience of the squad. Well, there's your headline. Go into the market to find some mental resilience, spend some money, again, of the squad and provide Rosenior with a better balance of options. Yeah, I mean, that is genuinely true. I think a little bit childish when I'm like, just like judging. Am I fully in focus? Don't know if I've got the focus right. You can see me, it's fine. I do, like I've always said in recent pieces of content, I do have sympathy for Rosenior, for like what he's picked up and how he's trying to put on this like brave, positive face when, he's saying stuff like, I always protect my players, but but some of the individual errors, like he started leaking into his presses, like, yeah, look, I mean, some of the stuff we're doing is ridiculous, basically, he wants to say. In his individual areas. But this has been a Chelsea theme for years, mate. Under all kinds of coaches. Maybe even in the arse end of the Abramovich era as well. Chelsea will look to sign at least one new central midfielder. I would want to add a central defender, defender, I don't know why I said midfielder, but they do want to add a midfielder and a forward, hopefully a left winger, I'm thinking. Goalkeeper Penders is likely to return from a season-long loan at Strasbourg to compete for the number 1 spot. No competing, just get a number 1. With a decision yet to be taken or not whether to sign a new goalkeeper. Sign a new goalkeeper. Okay, if Penders ends, actually I haven't even been watching him close enough to be like, but just give someone the number 1. All this, it's Penders and it's Petrovic and Sanchez. No, it's Petrovic. Oh, it's Petrovic and Jorgensen. Oh, it's Petrovic. And then the next season again, swapping between Petrovic and Jorgensen. It's simply untenable way of having a goalkeeper at the top level. I think everyone agrees with that as well. That's not a radical take from me. Let's read on. One of the Rosenier's errors has been to create an unnecessary issue, here we go, over the goalkeepers by dropping Sanchez and bringing in Jorgensen. And of course, Jorgensen's then since got an injury and apparently he's had surgery, a minor operation. That has caused instability in a key position. Precisely what I've just been saying, gang. And has appeared to impact Sanchez. Yeah, who, by the way, no matter what happens, I don't think either of the... Definitely not Philip, but Rob Sanchez, even if he can be great sometimes, the inconsistency for me has made my mind up personally. I'm done with this guy, personally. He was at fault for at least one of Everton's goals in Chelsea's 3-0 defeat. Yuck, when I ever push that out of my brain. Chelsea believe that 41-year-old Rosenior, he's only 4 years older than me. I still feel like such a child at 37, is open to feedback and constructive criticism, and are confident that he can quickly learn from his mistakes. There's your briefing. Feeding Matt Law. You go open wide. Yum, yum, yum. Rosenior has been in charge of Chelsea for 17 games, and the internal view at the club is that he can be fairly judged over a period of 65 to 70 games. Again, probably fine, but if it looks like getting to that amount of data is going to cause this terrible situation, then stop doing it. Chelsea did not choose Rosenior, who signed the contract until 2032 from sister club Strasbourg on a 3 or 4 month appointment, and were understanding the fact that he needs time. True. I also think with these 6-7 year managerial contracts, I reckon they've done it in such a way that, I think, when you sack them, you keep paying them until they get another job. I think they've probably structured it in that way. They're probably still playing, they will still be playing Maresca. But when Maresca takes the Man City job, which he probably will, they don't pay him the other 4 years of his salary. I think they probably contract, I'm speculating here, but I think they probably contract them in such a way. And by the way, they are in a position to, because they pulled Maresca out of the Championship and Rosenior from Strasbourg. It's not like these guys can have huge managerial demands from Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea go, nah, you're underqualified here, mate. You take whatever we give you, and we're going to give you good money, but if we want to can you, we're not going to pay you off 5 years of stuff. We'll just keep paying you till you get a new job. I'm guessing there, so that's just what I assume. Of course, we're stinky form, so take a deep breath for this next part. 4 successive defeats, during which the team have conceded 12 goals. Oh my god, have promptly caused scrutiny on Rosenior and Chelsea's recruitment, rightly so, and therefore has acknowledged mistakes have been made. But Chelsea believe the main reason for their stop-start season has been for the unplanned mid-season change of coach, which the club were forced into when Maresca, the former head coach, effectively quit. Not sacked. Maresca quit. There you go. I think he sacked himself. Sort of both things can be true, which you see all the time. Despite a run of 1 win in their last 6 Premier League games. I don't want to hear that. 1 in 6 games. He's supposed to get better with them over time. Chelsea still have a better points per game average under Liam Rosenior than they did under Maresca. Wild. And imagine if we beat Leeds and friggin' Burnley like we're supposed to. We'd be the best team in the world. It is funny how quickly things unravel, isn't it? Under Maresca, when we beat Barcelona 3-0, when we got that 1-1 draw against Arsenal, but we went down to 10 men, the vibes were so up. And then it all just fell apart. 1 win in 8. I mean, 1 win in 6 here. It was 1 win in 8 under Maresca. And that might have even been the league as well. It was really bad. It's funny how you go from good to bad very quickly. Very quickly. There remains plenty to play for this season, of course. We're still looking to try and win the FA Cup. We've got Port Vale at home. And 5th will be Champions League. And we are 1 point off 5th with a better goal difference than Villa and Liverpool, all them, man. So we are in quite a strong position, inverted commas. If, Chelsea may need to win as many as 5 of their 7 remaining league games to qualify for the Champions League. Although if they and Liverpool average the same amount of points per game over the last 10 matches, Chelsea will narrowly beat them. Liverpool have been out of sorts. I mean, we also play United and Liverpool. If you beat both of them, I mean, it's a big tall order for Chelsea to beat anyone at the moment, but if we beat them, then good, right? One of Rosenier's first messages to the squad when he inherited was they need to react better to setbacks. There was an initial reaction to that message as Chelsea fought back behind at Napoli, of course, and then West Ham, big comebacks. But then Chelsea did not recover from their 15-minute meltdown in Paris, and ever since. But even before that, it is the Leeds and Burnley draws as well they can't be lost in this. In this narrative of poor performing under Rosenior of late. And again, it's not all on him and this, that, and the other, but, I'll land this plane in a moment. With the meltdown in Paris, the club hope that the international break will give Rosenior, his staff, and the players a chance to regroup as they restart their season against Port Vale. Oh my God, if we don't restart our season against Port Vale, we are in what can only be described as horrible trouble, Yeah, again, I sort of have sympathy with Rosenior. Rosenier's been talking about transfers, like we're going to bring in certain transfers to like make us better and show mental resilience and have leaders and also just fill gaps in the squad that perhaps there is there. But I don't know, man. Understandably, everyone's very upset right now. It does not feel very Chelsea. You got Enzo Fernandez looking like he wants out. Caicedo saying, I want to be a legend. So there's positive stuff there amidst the negative nonsense. But we've just, like I've always said, especially recently since this new appointment of manager, head coach, it wins. Football, if you win the games of football, all the other stuff seems to fade and fizzle away, and you sort of get on with it, do you know what I mean? And everything becomes alright. But let me know your thoughts though. Thank you for joining me as always for this daily football therapy content on YouTube. Thank you for liking and subscribing and maybe dropping those hype points down here somewhere. I'm grateful for that. And of course, please do consider searching Football Therapy Podcast if you also want to consume this in podcast format. Just give us a follow and 5-star. That would be nice of you, mate, on Spotify and Apple. And take care of yourselves, most importantly. Enjoy some time away from Chelsea, apart from hopefully coming back every day to listen to me speak about them. Try and smile, try and laugh. Be good to yourselves. Alright, I'm out. Peace.